Hey YouTube, Diesel Dan Peters here. So, figured I'd make a video of the whole build, um, and just kind of go over everything that I've done so far. Still got coolant, good. Cool. After doing all the work that I just did to it. So, I started off, I traded the Yamaha Grizzly and the Polaris Sportsman 335, or Magnum 335, for this Can-Am. It didn't look anything like this when I bought it at all. So the Can-Am was basically a frame and an engine, transmission, like the driveline, right? Because the plastics were so shot. So what I did temporarily was I just kind of meshed them back together the best I could and drilled holes to make them work and stuff. And put it this way, I didn't never like the way they looked. I'm not a fan of the Can-Am yellow, but I for months I've been looking and looking for a good deal on all the plastics, and I finally found a deal for 2012 Can-Am Renegade 800. I think it was for 800 plastics, and luckily they do fit on a 2007-2008 era Can-Am Renegade 800. So I picked those up, and they fit perfect. I actually didn't have to do anything different, and I even got the newer style snorkel installed as well. That all fit perfect. I think some people say you have to cut stuff. I didn't have to cut anything on this. Yeah, it all worked out perfect for me. As you can tell, it ain't going anywhere. So let's see, what have I done to it? Nothing overly crazy, but there's a lot of stuff it didn't even have. It didn't have a tail light, didn't have the storage box, obviously didn't have a rear rack, didn't have the front bumper. So I went with a lot of Lucky 7 stuff. I just like the way it looks, and actually it's pretty clean with the white. So this is all metal. Those were all destroyed. I have the old ones over here still. They were just disgusting looking. So this one was okay-ish. I mean, it was starting to crack over there, but this one was just all cracked up. And that's how most of the plastics were. I just threw all them away. Another thing, instead of getting new shocks, I just got shock covers. The shocks work fine. They just, they show some age on them, and I figured that looks cooler. I was trying to go with a sleek look with it. It's got a brand new belt. I rebuilt the clutch. I put a new seat cover on a few months ago because the seat was, it was like duct tape central in there. I did make it quieter as well. This thing was straight. It basically didn't even, it had a muffler, but it didn't have a tip, and it also didn't have a insert. So I put the insert in, and then I just got a random tip that looked like would fit, and I put that on because this was not here. Tail light's brand new. Well, it was brand new. It still looks pretty new though. I know it's going to end up getting used, so that's why everything I did, I made sure if it got used, it wouldn't look crappy. The LED lights that are on it are off of a 2012 Dodge Ram. They're aux beam. Both of them are aux beam LED light. LED headlights, and I'll show you. So that's low beam, high beam. Can't really see it because I don't have the light off, but it is also snorkeled. So I set up the whole snorkel kit. Again, I got the was it Wild Boar? I think Wild Boar front bumper for it. Yeah, it's like the amount of things I ended up getting for it were insane. Even the headlight bezels I got brand new. Again, all the plastics are brand new. I ended up adding these little extra not side skirts, Fender Flares, I guess, good way to put them. I left this in the front here, but in the rear, it wasn't going to look right because the stock plastics have like a certain pattern, and that's what these had, so I just kind of trimmed them. Maybe one day I'll do the same here, that way they both match, but honestly, for the front, it looks fine. In my eyes, it looks fine, so I'm not really worried about that. Another thing that it was missing, it wouldn't engage into four-wheel drive, so I fixed all that. Besides needing a switch up here, the actual mechanism inside the transmission was broken, so I just got a new one of those. When I very first got it, it wouldn't even start. The guy was like, it'll start if you keep trying to crank it. So finally I got it started. Ended up being the switch and the brake switch as well. I guess it wasn't recognizing it was in park every time he went. Yeah, what else did I do to this? The Radiator Relocation Kit. We did get a winch for it. It's just a Traveler 3500 winch. Nothing crazy, like I said. I also got a new front and rear drive shaft. Let's see, what else did I get? I got new wheel spacers for it because the wheel spacers that originally came with it looked horrible as well. So I got those. Of course, I got a new battery. I ended up buying a whole nother wiring harness too to kind of sort through the wiring issues I had. This is also sitting on a 2.5-inch lift, which is why it looks a little bit higher, a little stealthier with the 28s that are on it. You know, for 28s, I know some people talk about like these huge 32s and 33s on quads. I mean, honestly, 28s are perfect for the kind of riding I do. I like to go through a little bit of mud, but I like to do a lot of trail riding. So this is perfect. For me, at least, right? Trying to think. Oh, I got one of these aluminum transmission shifters. Again, the whole Lucky 7 stuff. I'm not sponsored, obviously. This all takes time for a reason. It's all self-paid. She's still a little muddy. Trying to think. Oh, the battery not storage, but the battery holder was non-existent. The previous owner completely destroyed that. Again, like the amount of things that I had to do to this thing to get it going. Oh, it didn't have brakes either. So I got an aftermarket brake cylinder up here, and I got pretty decent brakes now. And the rear brakes, I ended up putting all new pads on too, new discs. Did a lot. Obviously, I bled the brakes, changed the transmission fluid. I changed both the front and the rear front and the rear axle fluid. Differential fluid, I mean, axle fluid. You guys should... anyway, before I get too sidetracked. So, give you an idea, we got the, I put some red LEDs up here with this snorkel kit. I think this is a Wild Boar 2, I want to say. I know it's like an SYZ or something along those lines. They look pretty decent. I'm not complaining. It's the first time I actually ever put a Warrior riser, it says on them. So maybe it's some kind of high riser lift snorkel kit. Anyway, yeah, so I got those on there. Yeah, let me turn those on. So I also have the cool aftermarket lights. Not lights. Oh, they are lights, but halos. Aftermarket halos. And you can change what color you want right from your phone, which is pretty cool. The last time I was out on the trails, because I was missing the headlight, what do you call it? The actual support that holds it to the frame. I ended up destroying so much in the front end when we went to Pennsylvania that it was just a little bit of a nightmare. But now that I have all the supports on, it ain't going anywhere now. Again, this thing for a 2007, it's not bad. Oh, this was another thing I replaced, the 12-volt cigarette lighter. That way, in case I need to charge anything while we're on the trails, we can. I always bring a power inverter with me, which is perfect. Yeah, again, one thing I definitely got to figure out is why this battery is not charging fast. The battery shouldn't be shot. I mean, the battery's practically new. So I don't think it's the battery. I have a feeling it's either this went again. Let's take a look. Let's see if I can pull this out right now. Oh, whoa. I think I pulled that out with one of the wires. Oh, I put you all down right in the mud. Sorry. Disregard. Carry on. why that just pulled out like that. Let's see if I can carefully. Because that means these could be in the same boat. They paid a lot for this, so I really hope it's not a problem. It could also be something to do with the way I wired it up. It definitely could be something to do with the way I wired it up. Hopefully not, though. I don't have those wires going directly to the battery. I wouldn't think that would make a difference. Unless... it really shouldn't make a difference unless there's a bad connection with one of these. Which there could be, I don't know. I mean, anything's possible. The vent tube looks good. Yeah, what else did I do to it though? Running diesel oil through it. Oh, that was another thing. I fixed the valve covers were very leaky, so I put the aftermarket what is it? I think it's cast iron or something like that. They're metal covers, put it that way. Put a new speed sensor. What else? Oil sensor, brake sensor. I think I said that earlier, but in case I didn't. Greased everything up. Oh, and that's where I came back from Pennsylvania, and I was like, something is definitely wrong with it. Besides having one of the tires blowing out on it, the trailing arm bearings were shot. It was to the point where you could actually move the tire. It would actually jerk forward like that every time you went to, actually when you go forward, it jerked backwards. Anyway, so that was shot too. So I replaced both bearings, which is why I got my 20-ton press, and the thing's a beast. I can't wait to never do that again. No, I'm kidding. Either way though, so everything is together now. It's been months apart, and this is the first day I can finally say she's all together, which feels really good. So stay tuned, YouTube. Let me know if you have any questions about the build. I think in total, even with the other quads, I want to say that I maybe had maybe $1,200 into the other quads, let's say. That was including all the trades and stuff that I got in order to get them. This, with the new plastics and everything, I probably put about $2,000 into it. So I have about $3,200 into it now, including the old quads that I had. So, I don't know, I guess the quad's worth at least $4,000 or $5,000, but at the end of the day, I'm going to keep it for a hot minute and just use it, have fun. You know, I don't want to, the reason I built this quad is because this was my dream quad growing up. I always wanted a Can-Am Renegade. I always thought they were so cool. And I finally built the one I always dreamed about. So stay tuned, YouTube. There's more stuff to come. But it is Friday, and I need a break. You'll see. I've been doing a lot of work lately. Stay tuned, YouTube. Oh, I never recorded all the wood that I did. Never mind. Stay tuned, YouTube. Diesel John Peters signing out for now.